What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got green decks to talk about. You see, I told you that Shivamon was one of the most exciting cards that I could see coming out in BT8. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've got a deck list to share with you, and it's not actually one that's playing the new Pulsemon, which does make me a little bit sad. But I'll be honest with you, this looks like a very cool deck. This is one that I am absolutely going to be playing around with. It was shared by DG341555455 over on Twitter. And might I congratulate them on such a snappy Twitter handle. And as we start off, we got the usual thing here, which is 5 Digit Armor, and we've got ourselves a 4-1 split. Now, the 4 here is your Pinamon, the one that came around in BT6. And that's got an inheritable skill once per turn when attacking. If you're attacking a Digimon, draw a card. It's a draw engine. Draw engines are hard to come by. This is a very cool thing. We then have room for one more, so we do have one more. It is the Koromon from BT7. When you are attacking, reveal the top card of your deck and place it at the top or bottom of your deck. Just gives you that little bit of extra consistency. No, it's not perfect. No one's claiming it is. But, you know, it's a nice little bonus. It's not the most important one out there, but it's there anyway. Now, starting off having a look at the level 3s, we've got ourselves Goblimon. And anyone who's been playing the Digimon TCG for any length of time is going to recognise this one. It's a 2 cost to play normally. And it really is as simple as that. It is a 2 cost to play normally, level 3. It's cheap. It's not particularly good, but it is particularly cheap. That makes all the difference. It's a reason it's being played. We've then got a placer of the Powermon from the starter deck 4. When you are attacking an opponent's Digimon, are we starting to see a theme already? You get to have an extra 2,000 power for the turn. Cool. Sounds good to me. In a deck where you are going after your opponent's Digimon, that seems like something which could be kind of fun. Now, we also have ourselves a Terriermon here. This is one that sees a whole bunch of play. It is the one from BT3. Your opponent cannot gain memory except by using Tamer effects. Basically, any deck that seeks to go about gaining memory through skills or any of that, or even option cards, this is going to shut them down. We have a full play set here, so this is going to be in play more often than not. This is clearly a very, very cool thing. This is honestly a card which is going to wreck a bunch of people's days, and I find that kind of funny. Now, we do have a white level 3 here. It is Pokemon. It's only being played as a 2 of, and it doesn't digivolve from Tamers, and even if it did, we don't even have any white Tamers, not just in the deck, they don't exist, so it's kind of a moot point. But when you play it, you reveal 5 cards on the top of your deck, and you add a card with Hybrid in its form or 10 Warriors in its type, and a Tamer card to your hand, and we're playing all that stuff. So it's just a little bit of extra consistency. Oh yeah, and on your turn, when your Tamer digivolves, gain 2 memory. It's not a fully hybrid deck, although there are some hybrids in here, and when your hybrids come in, you're gaining yourself 2 memory. That is pretty cool. Plus, it is a status skill on a level 3. You don't need to digivolve or any of that. And we're only playing 2 Pokemon, but if you got both of them in play at the same time and you digivolve your Tamer, yes, you will gain 4 memory. Now, speaking of hybrid, as we move over into level 4, shockingly enough, we are going to see some hybrid. We've got Arbamon. Now, there's nothing terribly special about Arbamon. You can digivolve it from your hand onto a green Tamer, as if that Tamer was a level 3 Digimon. And that's it. There's no extra skills, there's no extra anything. It is a very standard, it's just a hybrid Digimon. But I told you when this was revealed, if you're just after a hybrid Digimon, this has absolutely got your back. And this is here. And it's cool. But we have some other level 4 hybrids coming in as well. We've got Metal Kabuterimon. And here what we've got is a hybrid Digimon. But if you digivolve it from a Tamer, it's only a 2 cost, or you can digivolve it from a level 3 as a 3 cost and a level 4 as a 1 cost. But when you're digivolving, if you've got a card with hybrid in its traits or JP Shibayama in your Digivolution cards, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 power or less, which is brilliant. Because not only are you getting a hybrid Digimon, which is clearly a good thing, but you're also here being able to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So yeah, this honestly seems pretty gosh darned cool to me. And then of course, we're looking for hybrids. We've also got ourselves Beetlemon here. Comes in as a playset, and you can Digivolve it from your hand onto a green tamer as if it was a level 3 Digimon. And when you're Digivolving, reveal 5 cards on the top of your deck. Add a Digimon card with hybrid in its form and a JP Shivamon from among them to your hand. So these are hybrid Digimon that actually do other things as well, which clearly make them better options. Now, that doesn't mean we don't play the other one. It just means that this is a rather nice option. So yeah, in level 4, we are loving our hybrids. We do play some non-hybrid level 4s, but it's just 2 copies of the Examon that we just see coming around in New Hero. Examon, I'm pretty sure it's a Pulsemon evolution, but there's no Pulsemon, and I'm kind of sad about that still. But when you're Digivolving, you may suspend one of your Digimon to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, which is cool. And on all turns, you gain 1,000 power for each of your other suspended Digimon. So if a bunch of your Digimon are suspended, wonderful news, you're going to gain yourself a whole bunch of power here. That's going to be pretty cool. Moving over into level 5s, we've got Rhino Kabuterimon here. And this is another one that really fits the theme of what we're trying to do. It goes along nicely. What we've got here is when one of your Digimon with a Tamer card in its Digivolution cards Digivolves into this card, reduce the cost by 2, i.e. it's a 1 cost to Digivolve if you've got a Tamer somewhere in the evolution line. And when you're attacking, if a card with Hybrid or Insectoid in its traits is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you can Digivolve into a Digimon with Insectoid or 10 Warriors in its traits for a memory cost of 3. So you can potentially Digivolve a little bit more cheaply, and that's clearly a very, very cool thing indeed. Like I say, it very much fits with what we're trying to do in this deck, which is really kind of cool. Elsewhere in terms of level 5s, obviously we've got our 1 copy of Argamon. It's a restricted card, we're only allowed to play 1 copy of it, but it's got Digisorption -3, which would let it evolve for nothing, if you spend one of your other Digimon. And when you are attacking, you can play a level 3 green Digimon from your hand suspended without paying its cost. It is a ridiculous card, which is why it ends up being a restricted card. And then we've got another lovely new card that came around in BT8, a lovely new level 5. Still no Pulsemon, but not that I'm salty. It's Climbmon. When you're Digivolving, if this Digimon is suspended, i.e. if it's suspended and then you Digivolve into Climbmon, you return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with power equal or less than this is to your owner's hand. And on your turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, you may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. It's not the only skill we've seen that suspends Digimon. This is very, very nice indeed. We're building up a fancy hybrid deck, suspending our opponent's Digimon, suspending some of ours, but taking advantage of it. It's cool. So I did promise you a Shivamon deck, so we might as well start off with a level 6s, having a little bit of a look at Shivamon here. This is what excites me. This is the card I want to be good. And on your opponent's turn, while all of your Digimon are suspended, your opponent can't use option cards. And we've got some stuff here that lets you suspend your own Digimon, and you can suspend them by attacking, and if they're all suspended, your opponent is locked out of option cards. That's amazing. And on your turn, when this Digimon unsuspends in the unsuspend phase, trash the top card of your opponent's security. So however you attacked, or you suspended it using one of the skills we've talked about, it doesn't really matter. What you basically get to do here is just trash the top card of your opponent's security. And no security skills activate because you're just trashing it. And you don't have to attack and put your Digimon in harm's way. You're just getting rid of the top card of their security. This is absolutely brilliant. As a side note, it is an Insectoid Digimon, for what that's worth. Now, we do see Nidogmon here. I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I love Nidogmon. Nidogmon is still one of my favourite cards they've released in the game so far. I would like to be able to keep playing with Nidogmon for a while yet. When you're Digivolving, you can Digiburst 4, trashing 4 Digivolution cards, and you suspend all your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 power or less, and then you take all of your opponent's suspended Digimon and put them at the bottom of their owner's deck in any order, which is kind of hilarious. Proper board wipe. Absolutely love Nidogmon. It's been played for a while, yeah, it's not a new card, but it fits in nicely. And then there is just a single solitary copy of Ancient Troymon, which I love. On your opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you can suspend up to 2 of their Digimon without blocker. That is going to severely limit their options. And on deletion, you can play a green level 4 or lower with hybrid in its form from your hand without paying its memory cost. And I know it's a 5 cost to Digivolve, but it's also a 10 warrior, so you can play this a little bit more cheaply using that skill we mentioned earlier. So I just love this. I wish I could play a full Ancient Troymon deck. Maybe I will, quite frankly. But regardless, I love the level 6s here. Ancient Troymon, Nidogmon, and Shivamon in one deck. Yeah, bring it in, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it in. Now, in terms of tamers, obviously we're playing JP Shibayama. Like, half the skills in this deck refer to it. You can search it out more easily. You get bonuses for playing it. JP Shibayama was always going to be here. Now, it's actually got a security skill on the main card, not the security part. Slightly confusing, that plays it for free. Because it's got an inheritable skill which gives piercing. We're attacking our opponent's Digimon here a lot of the time. We get a lot of bonuses for doing so. So you need piercing, so you also perform security checks after taking out their Digimon. And that's what JP Shibayama gives you here. Also, when you Digivolve into a green Digimon, reduce the cost by 1. But really, we're using it here just to take advantage of all those skills I mentioned before, while also giving piercing. That is really rather awesome. And then, of course, it had to be Mimi Tachikawa, didn't it? Still probably my favourite tamer they've ever released, although there are a couple that come close. Essentially, if you've got a level 5 or higher green Digimon, you get yourself an extra breeding phase. You can suspend her to either hatch an egg or bring an evolved Digimon out from your breeding area. Clearly, absolutely brilliant. Plus, it guarantees you start your turn with at least 3 memory, which is really rather lovely. Now, in terms of option cards here, there's one that we know we're going to be playing, but we know we're only going to be playing it as a one-of, because it's Hidden Potential Discovered, and it's a restricted card. We're only allowed to play one of it, because it's too gosh darn good. If one of your green Digimon would Digivolve this turn, you can suspend one of your Digimon to reduce the cost by 5. Well, we've seen we got stuff like Ancient Troymon, which literally costs 5 to Digivolve, which is not ideal. This makes it nothing. And then we've seen stuff like Shivamon, which really benefits from having suspended Digimon, and this is just an absolute no-brainer. If we could play more than one, we would. We can't, so we just play one. We've got Green Memory Boost coming in here. This is the promo that came around in the starter decks recently. And you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add a green Digimon to your hand, and then it goes into your main phase with a delay to get you 2 memory later on down the line. Seems pretty good to me. And then we've just got ourselves a couple copies of a nice little 1-cost option card here. It is Sam, DHI, NTI. It's one of the ones from BT8. It's got Shivamon in. And you may suspend one of your Digimon to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. But your opponent's card that you suspend does not unsuspend until the end of their next turn. So you get to suspend their stuff, which is annoying for them, and you get to suspend your stuff, and again, we've got a whole bunch of skills that really rely on you suspending your own Digimon. So this is one of those situations that really is a win-win for you. I love this deck. This is my kind of deck, ladies and gentlemen. I love Shivamon, I love Nidogmon, I love Ancient Troymon. It's a green deck. We get to play Mimi Tachikawa in there. I really wish we could find a way to just, bundle green Pulsemon in here. That would make me very happy. but it's not really what the deck does. We've got attacking Digimon while gaining power and getting piercing and going after the stack and all of that. We're trash and extra security cards with Shivamon. We are wrecking the board with Nidogmon. This is a powerful deck that can do a lot of things. I'm sure the tournament it won over in Japan was a fairly small tournament. That's not the point, ladies and gentlemen. This is a deck that I am hearing hype coming out about from Japan. It is a deck that looks like it's going to be really good, and at the very, very least, worst case scenario, what I'm giving you here is a nice little deck list to use to start testing. But now I want to hear from you guys. Are you buying it? Do you think this could end up being really good? Do you think this is going to be a deck which has got some legs? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.